So last week we saw up until verse 3. 3 முடிச்சிட்டோம். verse 4 பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தோம் நம்ம. Āditya Hṛdayam punyam sarvashatru vinashanam jayavaham japen nityam akshayam paramam shivam. Āditya Hṛdayam punyam sarvashatru vinashanam jayavaham japen nityam akshayam paramam shivam. So we saw what is shatru. Shatru என்னன்னு பார்த்தோம். sarvashatru vinashanam அப்படின்னா, although Rama is standing there with the only enemy who is standing on the opposite side is now Ravana. The only enemy that matters to Rama is Ravana. Yet Agastya is giving him an advice of sarvashatru. Where is that sarvashatru? There's only one person standing, yet he's saying sarvashatru. So the meaning there is that it is not necessarily the enemy or the obstacle outside, it is the obstacle which is inside. Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadhayet. There is a this thing, shloka in Bhagavad Gita. You have to raise yourself with your own self. Uddharet atmana atmanam. With your own self, you have to raise your own self. Because it goes on to say that this Atma or you yourself is your own friend, you are your own enemy. I'll just look up that. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. I think it comes in the 6th chapter. 6:5. Uddharet atmanatmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano buddhihi atmaiva ripur atmanaha. Bandhuhu, sorry. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuhu atmanaha. Which means you are your own bandhu, you are your own ripuhu. Ripu means enemy. Correct? So this is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So the only way out, which means second line, you read first. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. You are your own friend. Atma eva ripuhu atmana. You yourself are your own enemy. Hence what you should do? Uddharet atmana atmanam. You have to raise yourself by yourself. You have to lift yourself by yourself. Do not put yourself down. See, these might sound like words of management. The management, self-confidence. Look at the mirror. Tell yourself, I am good. Allah secondary outcomes. The primary outcome is that, like we spoke yesterday also, the uniqueness. Understand you yourself are the source and the cause and the result of everything that you are. At no instance, we should never put ourselves into the illusion that something else is the cause for my suffering. Something else is the cause for my joy. I remember telling this. My guru would tell, Vedanta is boring. He'll say Vedanta is boring. It is boring because you'll sleep off while listening to Vedanta. But what he says, it is boring. The boring. The guru will say that Vedanta is actually boring into you. So the only thing is, you keep telling the same thing again and again. There's nothing very different that is being said. Fundamentally, it is the same thing. So it is boring. At no point go into this illusion that there is some Shatru outside. They may manifest on the outside. Sorry? So they may manifest on the outside because of a certain cause and condition. When it manifests outside, we have to realize that this is my causing. It is manifested, it is crystallized outside. How do we look at blessing? Blessing, we look at something, We always look at blessing as something that I have done good. Hence, I'm getting this blessing. Which means your punya is crystallized in the form of a blessing on the outside. Somebody coming and helping, somebody coming and assisting, somebody coming at the right time. All of this is the crystallizing of the punya. In the same way, the crystallizing of the papa comes out as Shatru. Because there is one very nice meaning of the word Janardana I read somewhere. Janardana. Janardana means we would think that he is the one who is the Gopala, like the caretaker of Jana, the people. But Janardana also has a meaning that he is inflictor of pain. கடவுளை பார்த்து ஜனார்தனா அப்படின்னு வேண்டிக்கிறோமே, ஓ ஜனார்தனா. Even in Bhagavad Gita is referred to as Janardana. It is not a very compassionate name in that way. Janardana means somebody who's inflicting pain. What does it mean? He inflicts pain not because he is getting sadistic pleasure. He's inflicting pain so that it helps us clear out the crystallized papa karma that we have. So whatever karma that we are carrying, anything that is happening, it's very, very simple. Of course, there are concepts of ideas of collective karma, one's karma impacting the other and all of that. Those are all at a different level of understanding. For us, it doesn't really matter there. As long as you recognize that the goodness that is happening is because of my devotion, the difficulties and obstacles that are happening are either to clear off the karma that I am having or as a response to the karma that I created. Right? Like Swami Shivananda says, see, it's not to glorify suffering, right? We're not trying to say we should glorify suffering, but also to recognize that suffering is being offered as a medicine, aushadham. Oh, if you get a wound somewhere, you put Dettol on it, it will burn more than the wound. Yes or no? எங்கயாவது கட் ஆச்சுன்னா டக்குன்னு உப்பு போடுறோம், ஏதோ ஒரு டெட்டால் போடுறோம், whatever you put, it will burn. Tincture. You'll put tincture. It will burn more than the wound. Adukku what you will say, you don't put it. It's better off without the tincture. It's not burning, but you put tincture, it will burn more. What are you doing there? It is an aushadham. Suffering is an aushadham offered to us to clear off the wound that we have created. So Sarva Shatru Vinashanam in that context is this Āditya Hṛdayam is punyam. It is sacred. We saw Guhyam Sanatanam in the first verse. In the same way, punyam. Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. So the moment all these ripuhu, shad ripuhu, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all of these ripus are dissolved or we slowly work on them, the lesser of the manifestation will occur on the outside. Right? Now, that doesn't mean to say that Ravana is such a huge monster standing out there. Does it mean that Rama was so bad? To get Ravana, there it's a little slightly a different context, right? Say there, somebody like a Kshatriya or Rama, or even in the case of Mahabharata, be it Arjuna or Krishna, they stand there as representation of a society. So what is standing in front of them is a social construct. It's the negativity, it's the crystallization of a social evil. Society has created this evil. So you need somebody like a Mahabaho. Rama Mahabaho. So he's a Mahabaho, and which means a great warrior or a great person who needs to come to destroy the social evil that has come out, the social Shatru. So even the other way of looking at Sarva Shatru Vinashanam is the Shatru who's crystallized by the society around you. Then you have some gurus like this who come, right, in the form of Rama, in the form of Krishna. They come to destroy that, because you'll have to do some kind of a reset. Right? See, only society has given somebody like a Ravana the ability to grow like that, right? It is not just his own sadhana. If enough people would have stood against him, Ravana couldn't have grown to that big a stature. Because there are several people who subdued themselves to his supremacy, somebody like that could become so egoistic. Yeah. So even what is happening on the outside, when you are subscribing to it, you are also feeding into it. That is also something. So when we are also creating these entities on the outside, which without our knowledge, because we are not conscious about what we are doing, we are creating these entities on the outside, and when it suddenly comes and stands like that, we are overwhelmed. So the Sarva Shatru is also, in that sense, we can say that it's all the negativities that are accumulated, they come out as a social evil also. Right? That is one way of looking at it. Now, so Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam Sarva Shatru Vinashanam Jayavaham. So now he is saying, what is the Aushadam? How do you address this issue now? Jayavaham Japen Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam. Japen Nityam, which means you have to constantly meditate, constantly chant. Which one? Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam. Right? Constantly chant. It doesn't mean that we have to keep chanting it throughout the day. It doesn't mean that. It means Nityam Dhyayanti Yoginaha. The yogi is constantly in the memory or the remembrance of that. So be like that. Jape Nityam Akshayam. Akshayam. What is Akshayam? This Jaya means victory. See, there is another name for Mahabharata, if you've heard this name. It's called Jaya. The other name for Mahabharata, epic Mahabharata, is also called Jaya, because it's a story of victory, being victorious over yourself. So Jayavaham Japen Nityam. If you do Japa, Nityam Japa, you will get success or victory, which is Akshayam. Akshayam, which means that which is never destroyed, that which cannot be destroyed. Kshayam means to be destroyed. Kshayati means to be destroyed. Akshayam is that which cannot be destroyed. Paramam Shivam. Paramam na supreme. Shivam means auspiciousness. Supreme auspiciousness. So that is what is obtained. So what is it saying? Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. First step is what? You clear all the negativities. Then what you get is, and you continue to do this. What is continue to do in Vedanta? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. After that what? Again Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. After that what? Again Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Keeps going on and on and on. Right? This keeps going on and on and on. What does it break? It breaks Karya, Karma, Vasana. Your action, the karma that you collect from that, and the impressions that you create. Right? This cycle you're breaking. You're breaking the cycle. Constantly we're stuck in this cycle. I have a desire, I act on it, and I create karma. I have it, then it generates another desire. I again act on it, I create another karma, impression. This keeps going and going on. And how do I break this? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, Atma Vichara. So Japen Nityam means that Nityam, be in this constant thinking, in this constant reaffirmation within ourselves. So, Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam, Sarva Shatru Vinashanam, you cleanse yourself, and then you constantly are in this repetitive process of Shravanam, Mananam, Didhyasanam. And then what do you obtain? Paramam Shivam. What is the aim of Vedanta? Paramam Shivam. What is the aim of religion? Paramam Shivam. What is the aim of any spiritual directive? Paramam Shivam. What is the aim of any gurus are coming and teaching us? Paramam Shivam. Everybody, the only thing that they want us. I don't know, you go to anybody and you go and ask somebody who's probably even who's working, or even those who are in the rut of work, or those who are trying to retire or settle down, ask them, what do you want? I want peace. I want calm. I want to feel blessed. So he's saying, Agastya Maharishi is saying, this Āditya Hṛdayam has the ability to give you this Paramam Shivam. So that is verse 4. Okay. Then verse 5 is, it extends from that. Paramam Shivam. Shivam means auspiciousness. It continues from there. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam Sarva Papa Pranashanam Chinta Shoka Prashamanam Ayur Vardhanam Uttamam. So it says Sarva Mangala Mangalyam. It gives you the auspiciousness that is beyond all Mangalam. See, the way we define Mangalam is when something right happens to us. Only when something good happens to us. Now, if I'm getting out, or கருப்பு பூனை நடந்து போச்சுன்னா ஐயோ அவசரம். வீட்டு விட்டு when I'm getting out or I'm trying to start something, கிச்சன்ல எவ்வளவு அதை அரைச்சிருப்பா, அவ தும்பி இருப்பா, ஐயோ அவசரம், என்னால ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. கதவை சாத்தின்னு வேலை செய்யுப்பா. So what is happening is our Mangalam, the concept of Mangalam is defined by some of these factors on the outside. Only when something is comfortable, good, pleasant, then we say it is Mangalam. Otherwise, it is Amangalam. Right? We are very quick in identifying Amangalam because we live in fear. We constantly live in fear. Something might go wrong. Something will go wrong. எப்பனாலும் எது வேணாலும் தப்பு நடந்துரும், பிரச்சனை ஆயிடும். I'll fall into some problem or the other. See, in this process, we are actually inviting troubles, right? Perumal is waiting there. Is he thinking about me or thinking about problems? So I'll send that. So the more we are, in fact, there's a very beautiful book written by a lady called Rhonda Byrne. I don't know if you've read it, called Secret. The Secret. It became very popular about 10-15 years ago. It became a bestseller book. In that she says, what we ask the universe, it is generally, universe doesn't respond to. So the way the universe responds is, if you say, I do not want unhappiness, it does not read, I do not want. It reads the word unhappiness. So the book goes to say, any affirmations you want to make, don't make in the negation. Make in the affirmation. Make it positive. Right? Let everything that happen be Mangalam. Not just by saying it, by actually experiencing, feeling everything that is happening is right. Everything that is happening is Mangalam. If I'm trying to step out and I hurt my feet, that's fine. Maybe I just pause there for a moment and then I go on. Correct? Some people completely drop the whole idea. இன்னைக்கு நான் சத்சங்கத்துக்கு போனோம், கால் இடிச்சுட்டேன், ஐயோ அவசரம், சத்சங்கம் போக மாட்டேன். The whole point is lost. Satsanga is to get rid of this kind of Mudha Mate. That is why Bhajagovinda constantly Bhagavan Adi Shankara keeps referring to us as Moodhamate, Moodhamate, Moodhamate. Oh, foolish ones. See, remember, Adi Shankara was such a young boy, and he had the audacity to go stand up there and say, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja, Moodhamate. And people were sitting in Kashi. Apparently, this he is supposed to have sung in Kashi or one of those places, I think. And there are learned scholars sitting there. Chinna paiyan vandu ella muttalgale appdin solraru. Our ego eppadi irukum. But that is the truth. We think very, very intelligent. But what is this Muda? The feeling of Muda is that we get stuck in some of these things. So I'm not saying that we don't have any extremity is a problem, right? Some of these things we acknowledge. Oh, okay. Something happens. Oh, if I'm getting up, I'm trying to go somewhere, suddenly the Valakku at the Perumal Sannadhi goes off. I go light it. I chant something. I chant a Trayambakam. I chant a Gayatri. I chant something. And then I go ahead with my things, right? And maybe it's a reminder there. It's a reminder that maybe you're just going off without prostrating, without sublimating yourself, without making yourself humble, you're going away. Stand there for a moment, make yourself humble. When you're going out, kaal idikirda, you sit down and drink a glass of water, but don't stop what you're doing. Sit there. It is a reminder. Sit there, hold on for a moment, sublimate yourself, make yourself humble. Say, God, I'm going there for a purpose. May you be with me. May I think of you. May I carry your remembrance. Maybe I forgot you for a moment. That is all. This is the way we should treat these incidents as. So, Mangalam.
When you get hurt or there's a pain in the body, you think that your Papa Karma is now absorbed. So the more pain, or the Papa is gone.
Is gone.
Pain.
Absolutely. It actually enables you to go and accomplish it much better because some of your Papa is now reduced. Correct. So this is the way we should always see, which is why, see, a true seeker, a spiritual seeker, this is the way one should operate in the world. Not look at everything as how is it going to cause an obstacle, right? So which is why Mangalam doesn't necessarily, we should not restrict. Mangalam means, oh, I chant Āditya Hṛdayam every day, so nothing bad should happen to me. That is such an immature way of thinking, right? Of course, things will happen. Even for Rama, it happened. Even for Krishna, it happened. Krishna got the biggest curse at the end of Mahabharata. The whole clan was destroyed. Krishna himself got tied to trees and oral and all of that. A lot of things happened, right? Even in his lifetime. So, Mangalam is not essentially just comfortable things that are happening to me, which is not causing pain. No. Mangalam is blessedness. Blessedness means that which is happening for my highest good. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam. Amongst all that is auspicious, this is the most auspicious. It bestows upon us the greatest auspiciousness. Those who had the fortunate this thing of being with gurus and all, you'll realize this. In fact, there is a very small incident in Mahavatara Babaji's story. They say Mahavatara Baba, you've heard of this saint, right? He lives in the Himalayas like a young boy. He takes form whenever required. He has lived for many, many years. He always goes around in the Himalayas with a small band of disciples. And they are Nath Parampara. So which means Dhuni is very important for them. Kalpaka would know. Sai Nath. Dhuni is very important. They'll always burn, keep a flame. Agnihotris. They'll always burn logs wherever they are And if they keep moving, they will go wherever they go settle down. The first thing they'll go is settle down. They'll set up a dhuni. Dhuni, it is a campfire. What we know as a campfire is a dhuni basically. But they invoke the Agni Devata, they invoke the necessary powers into it, and they will light it up. And they do that. And they will stay with them. So they're in a place for 3 days. That dhuni will be burning constantly for 3 days. When they get up, they move to another place, they go settle down, they do the same thing over. So dhuni is very important. Now what happened is, one of the stories, it's like a parable. It said that Mahatara Baba was sitting with this group of disciples, and they go around the mountains in the Himalayan mountain ranges. So they go towards a cliff, one of the cliffs, and they set up a dhuni. And then one of his disciples gets up. And then immediately Mahatara Baba takes a log of wood, a burning log of wood from the dhuni, and hits the disciple, and he falls. And everybody is stunned. What happened? But the beauty is, the faith in the Guru is so much that whatever he does is Mangalam. It is Sarva Mangala Mangalyam for me, anything that he does. So then later they inquire, Babaji, why did you have to do this? My body part is burning, or I'm hurt. You hit me with a log of burning, a burning log. He says, is it better to have a little hurt here or fall off the cliff and die? So the Guru saw that at that time, there was a karma that he carried, that he would have fallen off the cliff. He would have either died or he would have had severe injuries. So the Guru did something that deflects that. This can happen in the presence of a Guru, because he knows when to administer. He knows what medicine to give, when, at what time, what dosage, how much, when to stop, when to give, all of that he knows. Right? So but the thing is, if we recognize that the beautiful universal process is happening through us as a Guru, is operating through us as a Guru, we will notice this in our lives. You will see a lot of people like this, right? You see a lot of people, enna nadandalum positive irka. They'll lose a job, they'll still appear positive. They'll have troubles in home, they'll still appear positive. They'll have lack of money, they'll appear positive. They'll suddenly have a lot of money, they'll still appear positive. It's not because of, it is despite of those conditions, they remain positive. Because they always see everything as blessedness. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam means blessedness, which is coming because of grace. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, Sarva Papa Pranashanam. It destroys all sins, which means it is going back to that what we spoke earlier. It removes away any klesha that we may have, knowingly or unknowingly, that we have accumulated any kleshas. This Āditya Hṛdayam has the ability to remove those kleshas. With the right intention, if we submit ourselves, Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Pranashanam. Nashanam is the word, pra is a prefix there. It actually destroys all Papa. Destroys Papa means what? I can keep doing new ones. It allows me to do new ones. Papa, it destroys Papa means it also destroys the intention or the inclination to do Papa. See, that's very, very important. And a lot of times we don't realize things like Papa. We don't even realize it. And of course, again, as a spiritual seeker, we don't want to be in the business of trying to find out what is Punya and what is Papa. No. Let us not go into that at all, because it's a complicated area, and we lose lifetimes in trying to figure out what is Punya and what is Papa. There are Dharma Shastras written on it, and we don't know how to correlate it to today's living, right? So we don't know what really is like even in the Bhagavad Gita, the whole in the next couple of chapters, Bhagavan will tell how you have to do your Swadharma. How do you know what is your Swadharma today? It's Very difficult to, at that time it was Varna Dharma, it was Ashrama Dharma. There is clear codification documents that were there. So which is why now we have to look at these things not as textbook definitions, right? So the best way is not to dwell too much on Papa or Punya. Do that which is hitotkari, which is good for yourself and good for the others. That which you think is is in the best interest for yourself and the best interest for the others around you. That is all. And action becomes secondary, because what is happening there, for a spiritual seeker, you're going into akartrutva bhava. So you're trying to go out of kartrutva bhava to I am not the doer. Right? So when we move there, whatever action you do, Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanam. We do like that, then it will not matter. Papa, Punya, we won't know. And it's also in the Shastras, it is said that even if you have more Punya, you possibly may not attain to moksha, because your Punya is so much. You will have to clear off the Punya in some form or the other. You have to come to a point of complete balance between the two. No Papa, no Punya, you rise above. Then Sarva Papa Pranashanam. So Āditya Hṛdayam is now is able to give you the Vedantic understanding. Chinta Shoka Prashamanam Ayur Vardhanam Uttamam. Chinta, Shoka. Both of these are the greatest enemies. We saw this in I think while we were doing Lalita Sahasranam or something. Chita dahatam dahati shariram, chinta dahati jivanam, jivitam. Abdinchali, there is a phrase. Chita chinta, there is only a bindu difference only. Chita, the fire that you burn a body, it burns only the body. But chinta, because of chinta, your whole life is gone. Shoka, grief. Chinta shoka prashamanam, eradicates, removes sorrow. Now, this shoka is the situation of Arjuna in the first chapter, Vishada Yoga, shoka. And what is the Charama Shloka? The main see, first chapter is very beautiful. The first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Vishada Yoga. And the last chapter, how does it? Vishada Yoga is essentially grief, shoka, grief. He's starting with grief, grieving. And how does God, what is the medicine that God is giving him at the last? The Charama Shloka. Moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Do not grieve. See, look how the Charama Shloka, it is the 66th Shloka of the 18th chapter. How does it end? It ends with Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Unaki ivlo na pesinene. I've spoken so much. I've spoken 18 chapters. You didn't understand. Doesn't matter. Throw everything. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo. I will release you from all Papa. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami. I will give you moksha. Ma Shuchaha. Ma Shuchaha means do not grieve, do not worry. The starting of Bhagavad Gita is with worry or grief. The ending is he's saying do not grieve. See how the Bhagavad Gita is encapsulated. The starting starts with the problem, ends with the solution. So Chinta Shoka Prashamanam, it eradicates all Chinta and Shoka. Ayur Vardhanam Uttamam. It will increase your life. What life? It will increase the quality of your life. Like Kurvanne Veha Karmani Jiji Vishe Chatagum Samaha. Ishavasya Upanishad says, Kurvanne Veha Karmani Jiji Vishe Chatam Shatam Samaha. Jiji Vishet. Desire to live 100 years. What it means to say is not necessarily to live a long life. Yapada pove appadinu illa. The quality of life, however long you live, has to be significant. So, Ayur Vardhanam. Ayur Vardhanam means Ayuhu Vardhanam is to grow Uttamam. This gives you a great means to improve the quality of your life, quality of living. And that is what we want. Because we don't know what is death. You can desire death. You can ask for death. You can plead for death. There are people we've seen. Tube botno kandrapa, komala pairpa, they wouldn't die. You can keep asking for it. So we don't know what is death. We don't want to be a living dead. We want to live. So, Ayurvardhanam Uttamam. Chinta Shoka. See how he is doing. You remove Chinta Shoka. Chinta Shoka Prashamanam. You remove this, the quality of life improves. Ayurvardhanam Uttamam. He's clearly saying here, Agastya Rishi is saying that it is because of Chinta and Shoka, your Ayuhu is currently the way it is. If you are suffering, it is because of Chinta and Shoka. You remove Chinta and Shoka, you will have a beautiful life. Sarva Papa Pranashanam, Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. That is what he says. So we'll pause at verse 5. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikaye iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om Gutti. எப்படி இருக்க நீ? Hari Om.